Hmm? Put your hands up. Show me your hands. Show me.
Hand, and I put 5 reasons why they keep killing us, and so I'm going to get into that in just a few seconds.
Everybody's starting to come on.
Yep, everybody's coming on.
And again, we're sorry for being a little late, little technical issues,
Yeah,
but nothing that we can't overcome.
Donovan's always late. I'm just kidding. It had nothing to do with Donovan. It was all me and my equipment on this time, and so sorry about the
Every time.
92% of the time.
Wait,
okay?
Spectrum just upped my speed for free. So it ain't my Wi-Fi.
All right, so anyway, you guys, what's happening on your end, your neck of the woods? Facebook, we're not ready yet.
Not
Just yet. Yeah.
Hope you guys got that piece of chicken.
Yeah, the piece of chicken. You got some. For me, I'm drinking some water because I'm thirsty.
Dallas
What's up,
Cowboys,
Sydney and
Dallas
Kay?
Cowboys are playing, and
How do you know?
Well, I know they're playing. I just haven't watched the game.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I know they're playing. The Texans were playing earlier
I
too.
see you repping the NFL today too.
Well, let's put this hat on. Because it's a
Wait.
Dallas Cowboys hat.
What happened to your wig?
Oh, I had that. I was going to wear that, but it's too hot.
You ain't lying,
It's too
okay?
Yeah. I have my nice straight one too.
So we're just waiting for a few more people to get on before we get started. But I don't know if you guys saw the picture that I put up. It was Friday. Y'all saw, for those of you guys on here, Donovan had the wig on. This fool went out to eat with this wig on.
Hey, October is the only month that black women who wear weeds could go out there looking like clowns and nobody thinks nothing of it. Because Halloween is coming.
Yeah, he had his wig on, and my daughter was just beside
herself.
She said, "This is unacceptable." Talk about how can you co-sign this? You think this is funny? And I said, "You're just mad because you don't have friends as cool as I do."
Yes, and then the way she's upset like that. How do you think we feel as men? That is the proper reaction to have when you're sitting next to a clown. Okay.
Donnie was sitting up there looking like somebody's great auntie. So anyway, I'm ready to get started when you are.
Okay, here we go.
All
Let
right.
me get it going.
So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan. His heart don't pump no Kool-Aid, occasionally wear a wig, Saadiq.
Works for Tyler Perry, it should work for me.
You know, you might be on to something. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us on Facebook Live, our Ride or Die audience, who we have this great conversation with.
Every Sunday.
YouTube, you know what? You guys keep asking me to go live on YouTube, and so I will.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that,
yeah.
We do have a camera to do that.
Yes.
We just haven't got that.
Going to start going live so we can take some of your questions as well. And hello to you on the podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podbeam, and something else.
And regular YouTube.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so as you guys can see, our topic is 5 reasons why they keep killing us. Now, of course, they're my 5 reasons. I'm not saying they're the 5 reasons, but they're 5 reasons that I can think of. And so I also like to say a big thank you to Marcus Guyton, yes, who does all that he does behind the scenes. He makes this show go to outer space.
Right.
So we say thank you to him.
Sure. Real quick. 5 reasons. Now, you were saying that the topic is based on, I recently heard that another young black person was killed.
We're going to get into it.
Okay.
So I also like to say, though, for those of you guys who are watching and listening, that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote black love, knowledge, and understanding of all the things that go on in our community to make us an even better people. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. And so, 5 reasons why they keep killing us, in my opinion, right? And I have a bonus one at the end. Okay, and so for those of you, too, who are watching them on the watch parties, please come over to my page so I can see your comments, because for whatever reason, I can't see the comments from the watch parties. And I understand a lot of you guys do comment. I just can't see it. So come on this side. So anyway, 5 reasons why they keep killing us. Yet again, we heard about another black person being murdered wholesale by the police. Specifically, a white Fort Worth Texas police officer murdered a black woman by the name of Tatiana Jefferson, also known as Tay, early Sunday morning as she was in her own home. Where have we heard that before? We just saw a case be tried in front of the world. Amber Geiger murdering Botham Jean in his house. Okay, she was playing a video game with her 8-year-old nephew, to be exact. A neighbor noticed that Tay's door was open, so he called the police because he thought it was rather odd that her door would be open at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think that was the right thing to do. If it's your neighbor, you see something's odd, okay, weird, let me call and, police and make sure everything's okay, right? So after the police arrived, they walked around her house, around the outside of her house, with their guns drawn, looking in windows. Once Tay was spotted through the window by the police officer, he yelled, "Put your hands up. Show your hands." Almost immediately after that...
Why would you need to do that? Because he hasn't even got reasonable suspicion that there's been a crime.
Right. Well, almost immediately after that, he shot and murdered her. An expert said that it would have taken her about at least 10 seconds to realize what was even going on after he gave her that command.
Right.
So you have somebody yelling at you, it's 2 in the morning, you're not thinking somebody's outside of your window.
Right, and you don't know if she's had drank or,
nothing. Well, just imagine if I was just to do that to you, even sitting right here, say, hey, put your hands up.
Yeah, you're trying to...
Yeah, you're like, well, okay, why it was going on? So the expert said it would have taken her at least 10 seconds to even try to come to terms as to what was going on. Okay, now, honestly, Tay never knew what hit her. She died at the scene. They did say that after he shot her, he tried to give her CPR, but she ended up dying due to him shooting her, right? Now, the neighbor, James Smith, is terribly upset and said that he regrets calling the police. He's just horrified. He's just like beside himself, like he could not believe that they went and killed her, right? So Tay was a pre-med student at Xavier University in Louisiana and was home at the time taking care of her very sick mom. It's also said that Tay was the sole provider of her family for whatever reason, and so there, goes the livelihood of her family.
Financial aid goes a long way, takes care of a lot of stuff.
Right. Well, she worked there as well because she's a pre-med student.
Pre-med.
Okay. So, as usual, the police are trying to smear the black victim's reputation by saying there was a gun in the house.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Did they sprinkle the crack?
They probably did sprinkle it. But
it's not a laughing matter, but that is usually...
And I'm going to get to every last one of you guys' comments. So they're trying to say, oh, well, there was a gun in the house.
And, and guess what? There probably was. That's not a crime.
Right. But they also stated that it doesn't appear, they haven't confirmed or denied that the gun was on her person at the time. But again, to your point, I'm at home.
Right.
And,
and what kind of gun? She has a son. Maybe she's playing Army with her son. Maybe,
Well, right. So, that's their way of casting doubt on her innocence, right? Let's go ahead and get that out there. Well, there was a gun in the house, right? Okay, so why do we keep getting murdered by the police? Well, I have 5 reasons. Again, these are my 5 reasons. You guys can add on. So first, the police departments are run by white supremacists, and one of their main objectives is to subjugate and murder black people.
And keep us in fear.
Right. And that's why they were created in America in the first place. So let's not forget that, right? So we're going to put them at the top. That is their job, to keep, as you said, black people in fear. Number 2, we will not unify at all. Okay? We get mad, but we won't unify. Not at all. And I'm going to keep reiterating that. Now, how many black people are still watching football?
A lot. And
quite a bit.
I'm wearing my hat, but I haven't been watching football.
Not that we need to unify behind Kaepernick. I think we should, but unify behind why he was doing what he was doing in the first place, taking the knee to bring awareness to police brutality and the wholesale murder of black people.
Well, Jay-Z solved the whole problem.
Right. So we won't unify. And there's a whole other host of other reasons why we won't unify. We don't have time for that. 3, We don't practice group economics. Imagine if we started spending our most of our money with each other. As Dr. Claude Anderson always says, it would be a game changer on all levels. Politics, education, business, media, the courts, and the police departments. If we have some financial influence, we can say, hey, you know what? You killed one of ours. We need somebody to answer for it. Oh, guess what? We got a lot of money, and we are also using it.
Money,
right.
Money talks.
Money talks. Exactly. Number 4, we are too stuck on waiting for God to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. I asked this question last night. I was on Dr. Jerry Monroe's show, and I asked this question. If white and black people are worshiping the same religion and same God, what are they doing differently than we are doing? Right? Why have they succeeded in the last 500 years and we have suffered and struggled over that last same 500 years? Like, what is the difference? What are they doing differently? 5, we don't love ourselves. As Jonel Muhammad, he's often on this show, but he's not here right now, says, you protect what you love. If we loved ourselves, we would die trying to make sure we are protected. Instead, we're just dying. Right? Now, I'll give you guys a bonus before I finish. Everyone knows we're afraid of the oppressor to the point of paralysis. We might yell and shout, but we will not make a move because we are afraid. So my question here is, among a whole other lot of questions, what do we need to do to become unafraid? Because at this point, we are on the verge, and I know a lot of people will probably roll their eyes like, yeah, right, but we're on the verge of extinction.
Yes.
Do you guys realize that black people are on the verge of extinction? And, you know, if you know history, that was the plan. If you look at something like eugenics, that was the plan. To get rid of black people and the downtrodden and the burden on society, because after they freed us from slavery, we were considered a burden, no longer an asset. And so let's get rid of them. And that plan, like a lot of times we think, oh, well, that was so long ago. No, that plan is still in effect.
And they want us, especially these younger people, to believe that, oh, things are different. Things are not different. Things are pretty much the same.
No, they're worse.
If what she's saying is not true, why is the Democratic Party totally ignoring the black votes and the black people and catering everything to brown people and illegals? Why are they doing that?
Because they are taking over.
Exactly.
And they are going to have voting power. And,
right.
you know, black people, well, you know,
We're 13
politicians.
strong.
Yeah, well, politicians aren't really focused on us anymore because they've already got us. You know, we're a done deal.
And then a population that does not grow in 60 years, that maintains a steady 13% population, there's no point in worrying about us.
And Cindy says, what's up, fam? Must be the winds for the delay. No, you know what? Actually, it's not windy today, but as you can hear, the winds have jacked me up. I've been like sick ever since. And you say, Spider-Man shirt, Donovan?
No, this is Venom. This is Venom. See? Got you on that one. Venom.
What's happening today?
No, but it was the black Spider-Man suit, too. So.
And Cindy says you losing badly to the Jets, but he doesn't care about that. He don't care nothing about football. Nothing. Because I'll elbow him in his ribs. And hello to everybody who is on here. And Cindy says stop calling the police. Okay, so let's address that. Like we say, stop calling police, but what is the police for? What is their main? They are protect and serve. They're supposed to protect and serve. You feel like you're in danger, somebody's running up on you, or somebody's trying to break in your house, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters?
Right.
Right, you know, you're going to call the police because that's what we're supposed to do. Hey, 911. I actually saw an article today. I didn't read it because I didn't have time, but the heading says something like black people need a new number to call instead of 911 or calling the police because we are being murdered at rapid rates by the police.
But see, here's the funny thing. You would think with all of us that work in the security field, we'd have people in the community that have, you know, security backgrounds. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, everybody works as a security guard somewhere, and yet our community is...
Well, I just think as a society, we're conditioned to call the police. Hey, something happens to you, call 911.
Right.
But as, you know, the great one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time said,
What?
911 is a joke.
911 is a joke. Yeah.
911 is a joke. You know, not an enemy. Right. So, I mean, it is becoming a joke. I mean, God, you call the police because you see your neighbor might be in distress and they go in there. They don't even like, you know, what happened to the bullhorn? Hello?
Right.
Who is that in the house? I mean, if they're trying to say they fear for their lives.
And then here's another thing. Why aren't they teaching your basic human rights and your civil rights here in the United States in school? When we went to school, they gave us a briefing thing. And I remember in high school, you know, government, you just got to tell you your basic rights.
Right.
If you go to most people nowadays, they can't even tell you the rights.
And,
Because like I said, if a policeman shows up on my door and he says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" or "Can I come to you?" No, you can't come to my house without a warrant. You got to know the basic.
But
Get off my
out of fear,
property.
people just let them in
Exactly.
because, you know, oh, they're going to come in
Same
anyway.
thing as when you leave out of Walmart. People are automatically conditioned to show their receipt. You don't have to show your damn receipt. You walk the fuck out.
Right.
Unless you're a crook, and that's what.
Right.
But that's what they're doing. They're conditioning you to just comply.
Right. Well, you know, not complying a lot, especially for black people, is very dangerous.
Yes, it's very dangerous.
It's unfortunate. It's just dangerous. And Cindy says, why not call the house first? Yeah, it's another good question. And, you know, I don't want to, and I'm not saying you're doing this, I don't want to blame the neighbor because I think he did what he thought was the best. He's an older guy, you know.
Well, it's like if you saw my door open, it doesn't open, you know, you think.
Well, I would call you, like, hey, you in there? What's really going on? You know, or whatever. But 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe he just felt like, okay, hey, something is wrong because he said that was out of order for her.
And you got to remember, nowadays, neighbors don't even know each other. Now, I have a neighbor next door. We're not buddy-buddy, but if I saw the door open, I wouldn't go over there necessarily because I don't go over there now.
Yeah.
I would probably call.
Yeah, say something's odd. Something's wrong. Never in your wildest dreams. Just like Stephon Clark in Sacramento, the neighbor, whoever it was, called the police, saw somebody going through the backyard. He said he would never, ever call the police again because he did not know that the police was going to go and murder him.
Execute him. Oh, and by the way, that young lady, noticed once again, the body cam was heavily edited that they released to the news.
Yeah.
Why are they editing these body camera shows you what happened?
Or do they?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Why are they editing it?
Right.
Before they release it.
Right.
Just show it in its raw form.
What's happening, our son? It says, how are you doing? We are doing well. How about yourself?
We're doing great.
And Berdina, what's happening? You say because they know they can get away with it. There is no outcry from us. We are too passive. We are too busy forgiving and not holding the police accountable for their actions. It is not beyond our capacity. Yeah, I mean, at some point in time, though, I mean, because, and to your point, they get away with it because we hoop and we holler for a week or two, and then we go away until the next shooting.
I have a good question for Berdina. The chief of police, the 2 top cops in that department are black.
Yeah, for Fort Worth and Dallas.
So how are they getting away with it?
Well,
I mean, you know, I know how they're getting away with it. What I'm saying is, though, we've got people in positions that can affect change, like Kamala Harris, who was in a position who could affect change, and yet they don't do it.
Well, you figure, like to your point, they have Fort Worth, the police department in question now, and then Dallas, the one that was in the bottom. John, they have
right next to each other.
Chiefs of police that are black. You got to ask yourself, well, how did those black people get the job? Was it because they were sticking up for black people?
Right.
Hell no. They was, well, we need, what happened before the tape started? We need to investigate. This lady was in her house playing video games with her nephew, and she was murdered.
Right.
What do you need? What else you need to know?
Yeah, I can only speak for myself. If cops ever come to my door, I keep it locked, and then I ask them to get off my property if they want to talk to me. They can talk to me from the street.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right.
You know. So.
And Sydney says, did he see the gun? It doesn't sound like, you know, of course, they're not going to say he didn't see it.
According to the edited tape, they even have a picture of the gun in the window, which to me looks like a toy gun.
Yeah, but he didn't see the gun. I mean, how could he have seen the gun?
Right.
It sounds like he saw her, said, stop, put your hands up or whatever, and immediately shot her. So, I mean, he didn't have an opportunity to see nothing.
And if you go through the statistics...
Hey, Reginald.
If you go through the statistics of black people being executed in this country... They say at least 20% of the cases involve a gun that is never found or is alleged.
Well, that's their go-to. Oh, I saw a gun, or I thought I saw a gun.
Remember right here in Riverside, Taisha Miller?
Yeah, Taisha Miller. That was an infamous one out here.
Wow.
In her car.
A gun was on her lap. They never found the gun.
Right.
25 shots
Yeah.
into her,
In
14-year-old
her
girl?
car. Well, no, she was 18,
18,
19,
yeah.
and she was asleep in the car.
Not far from the metro.
Mm-hmm.
Not far. It wasn't far.
Hey, William, and you agree. Yeah, you say, no, they don't have us. Okay. What's happening, Pam? She says, hello, Donovan.
Hello.
And Jamal, you say, we do not understand the power we have as a collective because we are so culturally unaware that it creates ripples between the middle and upper class and lower class black communities. But times are changing vastly. Absolutely. And you know, as I always reference, like to reference Dr. Claude Anderson, and he says, you know, speaking of upper class blacks, if you will, a lot of times they suffer from thinking they're exceptional.
What's wrong with that?
Shut up.
What's wrong with that?
Exceptional in that, oh, well, you know, I'm doing well, I'm eating good, or I'm driving cars. Shut up, Donovan. I'm driving good cars. We live in a good neighborhood.
Yes.
We don't have the same problems those niggas over there have. Oh, and the exceptional blacks, too, be the ones talking down on everybody else. Ooh, they ghetto. Oh, they this, they that. Oh, you know, they just... This is one that, ooh, you guys, this is one that really just does it to me. And that's why they think like that now. Because how they acting over there, that's why white people don't like us now. And I'm like, you think white people don't like us because Boom Quisha and Ray Ray got on the news telling their side of the story the way they wanted to tell it? You think that's why white people don't like us? You fool.
Right.
And I'm like, even still, why do you care if they like us or not? Oh, that's why they don't like us. So you go through your whole life, trying to get white people to like you. And it's like, but yeah, things are changing. I agree with you. And you also say, Jamal, they did it because they know they can. Who is going to stop it other than us, right?
Now, let me ask you this, too. Maybe this might be a good question. Do you guys actually think that what they're doing is sending a message clear and cut, letting you know we will murder you at any time if you are talking on us and not going with our program? This is what's going to happen to you. We're going to do it again and get away with it.
I mean, I think that's some of it. I think to his point, and someone else made the point, they know we're not going to do nothing. What are we really going to do? Mm-hmm. We're going to cry, whine, get on Facebook,
make a rap
social media. Yeah, you know.
Mothers of the movement. That's what we're going to do.
Ain't going to let it go.
I'm not going to let it go. That was ridiculous.
We're not going to do nothing. You know, we are, and a lot of it is because we are in fear, you know, or we're waiting for somebody else to go out there. Like, there's a lot of people who hail Christopher Darner as a hero. Right. And the other brother in Dallas that, you know, took out some police officers, they hail them as heroes, and it's because they did what people who were sitting back wish they could do. I'm not saying you should go out and, you know, snipe police. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of people see them as heroes because they're like, wow, they took one for the team.
They put their money where their mouth was.
Yeah, they put their money where their mouth was. You know, of course, the reports came out that they was crazy and all kind of stuff.
You know, but, and that's another thing. Why is it, okay.
And 1 second. For you guys that are on the watch parties, please come over to my page and I can read your comments from there. I can't read them for the watch parties for some reason.
You know, why is it, everybody? Why is it? And I just, you know, we have skits on Saturday Night Live, Dave Chappelle, you know, and we know what goes on. We know the playbook. And yet we still allow the playbook to be used against us.
Right. Well, again, I think a lot of it is because we are in fear and we're waiting for somebody else to do for us. You know, a lot of times we cry to politicians, oh, you know, you guys need to do something. Oh, well, Kamala didn't tweet about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, what can she really do? She's one of them.
We're going to overcome them with our capacity to love.
And then when they go low, we go high. And we're not going to go low.
Disarm us. Yeah, they just keep disarming us.
No.
See, and here's the funny thing about a person like yourself and myself. People think I'm crazy.
Well, you are.
For the simple fact that I don't take no shit. Now, why is it that a person that makes a stand and lets you know how they stand, they're the problem?
Because you're out of sync with the rest of the people in the box. You got to do what the other people in the box are doing. And you said we need the money we contribute to paying police back. Absolutely. And then if, you know, we as black people, it said that we have $1.3 trillion. We give away 97% of it. So if we as black people would stop giving our money away to everybody else and hold it and actually make some major moves, we would have influence over the police department just like everybody else does.
Well, unfortunately, we have those Negroes in our community that, let's say they get out of debt or whatever, they immediately go right back in the debt because they want to stunt and front and flash and cash.
That's a whole other topic.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what happens.
Yes.
As soon as we get released, we say, you know what? Even though, I work as a customer service person at Del Taco, I'm going to go get a Jaguar car.
Yeah, you might not want to do that.
But I live in an apartment.
You might not want to do that.
That's what I'm saying. We give our wealth away. Even if we have it, we just say immediately, I'm going to go get this.
Right.
And we don't tell our children, no. Get your nice little Toyota Supra, boat, whatever, so you can.
And Sydney says, I left my door open and dispatch called me and told me the police were coming to make sure you are safe. Well, thank God they warned you, right? That way you can crouch behind the couch. God forbid they come in their blazing saddles. And Secret Garden, what's happening? He says, in a fairy tale, police protect and serve. In reality, police may kill you, and then that ain't a fairy tale. No, absolutely. That's what they're supposed to do, protect and serve. It's written on all of the cards to protect and serve, but they don't do that, especially with black people.
See, here's another thing I don't understand. Why is it that if I got in a domestic argument with you, and you pick up the phone and call 911 and it slams down, they immediately call that number back to see what's going on.
And then if you don't answer, then you got to do a lot of convincing them that hey, I'm okay. No, I'm really not beating the kids.
Right. I'm not beating her, or everything's cool.
Right.
It's okay. There's things like you said. Why didn't they call and say, hey, is everything okay over there? What's going on?
Right. Hey, Huey, what's happening? And you say, I just told my wife that shit about Walmart. So about the whole receipt thing. I don't have to show you my receipt.
You don't have to. Now, if you go to Sam's Club or that other one that they have, that's in the agreement that you have to show your receipt because it's a club.
Right.
But
Walmart
and all these other places, no.
Right.
Put it like this. Do you show a receipt when you leave your house with your property? No, you don't need to because it's your property.
Right.
So once you pay for something, it's your property. You don't have to show anybody anything.
Yeah, I mean, they have to have proof of you actually stealing something.
It. Right.
And Damien, what's happening? He says sellouts. And then Palessa, I hope I said that right, says they keep trying to bury us. They don't realize we are seeds. Absolutely. Well, you know what? We need to start sprouting and actually, bearing fruit of the things that we've gone through almost 500 years in this country. We actually need to start showing what we are made of instead of waiting for somebody else's seeds to sprout and do something.
Well, but, and for us to do that, and I'm not saying everybody's doing that, but we need to stop signing off on the bullshit. Letting our kids. Okay, good example. You have an 8-year-old kid. He comes home with a bike. Mom, that boy didn't you didn't give him no money to buy a bike. He didn't find a bike. Remember that episode of Good Time?
Right.
And we gotta start correcting this stuff so we can be the great people that we're supposed to be.
And I hear that, but I don't want people to think that that's correlating to police killing us because it don't. Yeah, that has nothing.
No, not at all. What I'm saying is about being great people and living up to those, to that expectation.
Got you. And Berdina says, it says, it is their mindset. They are not working for the people. No, they weren't created to work for black people.
Berdina, I've said it, and I said it several times. I'm going to cut you off. It's something wrong in the training. It's when
you know what? It's nothing.
No. We know the system. No. It does. The system itself, we know what the system is. It's like me being in the military. I know what my job is in the system, but in the training, they don't train me to be afraid of the people I'm supposed to protect.
Those people ain't afraid of us. That's a talking point that they use in order to justify murdering us. Because that's the one thing in the police, and I haven't never been a police officer, but I know that's one of the things that gets them off the hook. Is, oh my gosh, I was in fear of my life. One of the things we stress about is making it home to our families at night, and I just saw something, I thought I was in danger, it was better them than me. So it's not the training. It can't be the training.
No, it is, because put it like this. Why would you want to be a police officer and you're deathly afraid of black people?
Well, the point that I'm saying is that's a lie. They are not afraid of us. How in the hell are you afraid? Let me finish. How are you afraid of somebody who don't even know you're outside? You're lurking around around this lady's window. She has no idea you're there. So how could you be in fear? She doesn't know you're out there. So that's what I'm saying. It's not training. It's that these black people are expendable. Nobody's gonna bust a grape if we kill them. Wait, let me finish. All we gotta do is say I was in fear, and the top brass in the department are gonna say, well, he was in fear. Case closed. Oh, by the way, there was a gun in there.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, okay, like me being a military person when I was overseas in the war, I wasn't afraid of the populace, even though there was people out there that could possibly kill me. What I'm saying is, I knew I had it's almost like the Andy Griffith syndrome. That's what we would call it. People respect you in the community. And back in our day, we were growing up, the officers that patrol, they were there all long time, whatever it is. They didn't need to have military assault weapons to patrol the neighborhood because people knew who they were and they were in the community.
Well, you do know why the Black Panthers came into existence for the most part. Yeah. Why? It was because our police was murdering. So, I mean, the police have always done those things to us. So, if they were there, the police aren't afraid of us. It's just an excuse they use to murder us wholesale and get away with it.
With my experience.
We know, and you're wrong.
No, there's something wrong in the training. And a lot of people that I've talked to,
let me get on to
we all say the same thing.
Yeah, and y'all all wrong. I'm just playing. Reginald says, I will believe forever. I believe we will forever forbid the two races from living together on terms of social and political equality. And in as much as they cannot live, while they do remain together, there must be, there must be a position of superior and inferior, and as much as any other man, I'm in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race, Abraham Lincoln. Nah, because what had happened was, remember, he wanted to free the slaves.
No, he didn't.
It wasn't. We know, but I'm saying that's what most people believe is that Abraham Lincoln was this honest Abe, and he wanted to free black people. But we know the truth, right? And so, hey, Vaughn, what's happening? And then Yah says we have to be honest. We can be in position, but to keep the jobs, we feel like we can't be totally effective because they're in control somewhere. We have to admit. I think that. Yeah,
Black police showing out for the white cop.
Right. But, imagine if we created our own jobs. Like we do have black businesses, but to the record numbers that everybody else does. We wouldn't have to worry about that as much, I would think, right? Hopefully not. So anyway.
Real quick, about creating jobs and stuff like that, I don't care where you go. We were just on the continent, the beautiful continent of Mother Africa. Jacob Zuma corruption trial has been moved forward. He has to go through the corruption trial now. So what I'm saying is people are the same everywhere. When it comes down to the money and the greed, we all are in the same boat when it comes down to that. We don't care about culture, community, nothing. It's about the money.
Right. Hey, Al. He says, hey, Donovan, D. Hey, Donovan, D and I had a discussion. The Texans have a player named Kiki County. His real name is Kevontae. Your thoughts on his name? Save that for later.
Did you see me just start laughing?
Okay, there you go. William says, they use money as a weapon to divide us.
Yes.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Especially in paying our leaders. You guys, I tell you to research the Big Six. It was a group of 6 men in the 60s. A couple of them that I can remember was, as I said, Martin Luther King, John Lewis, and 4 other ones that slipped my mind. The guy that did the
Urban League.
Yeah, and SNCC. Yeah, so those guys were paid by $1.3 million back in the day, which is a lot of money to keep us docile. Hey, go back there and tell them that they, keep fighting for civil rights, but don't let them get violent. Keep telling them to turn the other cheek. And this was JFK who was doing this.
Or keep moving the goalposts like they do now. It's like the Democrats right now. Oh, in 3 weeks we're going to do. Why are you waiting for 3 weeks? Do it now.
Right. And Marcus, and also you guys, if you're watching in the watch parties, come on over to this page and comment because I can't see the comments over there. And so Marcus says, also, how many cases go unreported and covered up? Because in my town, we have at least 5 unprovoked murders of black males that got covered up. It's probably thousands I would venture to say thousands of cases like that. Oh, well, I thought, I feared for my life, all that other stuff. And so, you know, we get mad about it and we just go away. I mean, golly, it's just...
No, we don't go away. We just go on with our lives.
Well, and like all of us are targets, you guys.
Yeah.
Everybody's a target.
Yeah, it's almost like when I watch some of these shows and male or female, they'll say, well, there wasn't a daddy in my life. Why is it that our narrative, the father's not there? Do you see what I'm saying? And again, it's very implicit of that we should be there as fathers. But that's the narrative. Like, oh, well, we're just deadbeats. We're just,
Well, we know that's not true.
Yeah.
And Yah says,
Damn
yes,
right.
they are sending a message. No, absolutely. They're sending a message. The rest of you Negroes,
get in line.
yeah,
Line up.
don't you step off the plantation. There's going to be some problems.
Right. Because me and Dee get in an argument all the time, and I had to get her straight. There are no such thing as good cops. Period.
And I see, Reginald, you posted your comment again. And so, Jamal, you say, they are most definitely trying to show us that they still have all the power, but it's because they're getting scared of this big shift that's about to happen. You know what? Absolutely. Yes. It's this awakening giant that they're afraid that's going to completely come to and say, oh, okay, this is what we need to do because we have been asleep for so long. You guys have just ran roughshod over black people for all these years, and now we have come to take back what's ours by any means necessary, right?
Right. Remember what I said when the Amber Geiger thing was done? Look it up on the videos and check it out. I said what's going to happen now is whenever a cop is involved in a shooting, they cannot rely on the jury system anymore. They're going to ask for a bench trial, which means the judge that is in their pocket is going to make the decision.
Right.
And that's what's going to start happening. And you're going to see a lot of these guys get minute, if at all, penalty. Because I didn't want to ruin his life.
Well, we going to see.
So,
hey, Charlie, what's happening? It says a black woman was shot and killed by a white officer in her Fort Worth, Texas home. And after a neighbor called. Yes, that's actually what we're speaking of now. Let's see. Yes, that's what we're talking about, the case with a black woman. Tatiana Jefferson, they call her Tay, that's what they called her, was murdered in her home by Fort Worth police officer. And Marcus says, well, I will say it for everyone here. Until we start shooting back, nothing is going to change. Until we start shooting back, nothing is really going to change. You know, there's a lot of people who feel that way. I saw a couple of people say yesterday, well, the police officers have families. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You know, but that's, you guys can draw your own conclusion from there. But it said that they have families. Right. You know,
and we've said on this show several times, you have a right to arm yourself, and you would be stupid not to have some kind of firearm in your home. Period. Right.
Hey, Ronnie, you say we need another 400 years before we collectively learn to take action. I hope not, because I know I ain't gonna be here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here, so. But when you're getting dead in heaven with that mansion and that Mercedes in heaven.
With my crown?
With your crown?
With my crown up in heaven? No. I want my crown now, not Crown Royal either.
Yeah,
I want my
because they're making their heaven right here.
And that's why I was asking earlier about the religion thing. White people, black people, following the same Bible, same God. For the most part, black people are Christians. Mm-hmm. White people are Christians, for the most part. What are they doing differently than we're doing? What like they're using the Bible to gain and do things and get what they need, but the Bible has our hands tied. We're gonna wait, we're gonna wait for God to do it, and they're using the Word of God to manipulate everybody else on the planet and make these great financial gains and a whole host of things. So,
but a lot of we also got to blame ourselves too. I mean, like I said, I talk to young men right here that have no prospects going for themselves, but they rather sit and do nothing than go and do something.
Well, but that's up to us. Yes. That's up to us to talk to them and try to help them. Yes. But again, I don't want people to think one has anything to do with the other. They don't. A man could be sitting on the corner twiddling his thumbs, as people used to say, and police still have no right to harm him.
Right, but again, these millennials, well, go work this job. Am I going to be the vice president? I got to start at the top.
Right. So. And Reginald says, we should not vote unless these politicians are fighting for our interests only. Absolutely, I agree with you. But you know what, Reginald? A lot of people will be mad at you for saying not to vote.
Voting is a transaction. You have to get something for it. If you're not getting nothing for your transaction, why vote?
Right. And then Charlie said, stop calling the police and solve our own problem. Yeah. I mean, I think there's some things we shouldn't call the police for, but I mean, in the case of James Smith is his name, the neighbor that called the police, he thought his neighbor was in distress, 2 o'clock in the morning, her doors open, and he was like, hey, let me just call the police to be on the safe side. He never called in thinking that she was going to be murdered, and so he said he regrets doing that.
That's right. R.Kelly says, don't call the police. You're right.
You know what?
R.Kelly said, that's right. Let's stop calling the police.
Berdina says, yes, and yes, we put blacks in those positions. Who are they working for? Protect and serve the community. That is what the police must be brought back in doing that task. As Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson said, we do not have communities, correct? We have neighborhoods until we build up our strength in our neighborhood. And yes, he says that we don't have communities because communities work together, accomplishing goals, saving money, spending money within itself. We just have neighborhoods, which is somewhere you live.
Right.
So we don't operate like a community. So that's where he was going with that, but absolutely correct.
And everybody think about this. You are so busy working and slaving just to make it. When do you have time to really associate with your neighbor?
Right. And Berdina says, right. Mm-hmm. And Berdina says, yes, that does not, right with you, I doubt it. No. And he says, yes, that does not make sense, and because we're a little bit behind. And Jamal says the process to becoming a police officer should be more strict.
It should. You should have at least an associate degree to become a police officer.
Well, and somehow these, but see, this is why this is just me. This is why I don't believe there's enough training for police officers to do the right thing. You know why? Because it's based off of white supremacy anyway.
Yeah.
So, they want those type of people in there who don't like black people, who are gonna stick it to black people and all that. So it's not an issue of them getting more training, issue of them passing or not passing psychological evaluations. Those are the people they want in there. And it said that, and we know that the police department is based upon the patty rollers and stuff from slavery. But it was also said that the KKK was going to flat out infiltrate the police department. And so what are they looking for?
Right.
People who are not KKK members?
But also in the military. Remember during the Iraq War here, those guys that were in the prison and they humiliated those guards and stuff. Where were those guards from? West Virginia. Some of your most fiercest, racist, hating, capable military people come from the South.
Right. Our producer says the show is going great and can be better if y'all wouldn't cut each other off when the other one is talking.
She talked. No,
duly noted. And Huey says, I think they have a subconscious fear of black youth. I agree with Donovan. They need a greater de-escalation training.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, Huey. Okay, let's take her example. Tay's case, for example. What was to de-escalate? How could something be de-escalated if she didn't know something was escalated?
Right.
What did he need to de-escalate? What did Botham John need to de-escalate? What did Philando Castile need to de-escalate? What did all these people need to de-escalate? And most of those times they didn't even know a situation was escalated. So that's why I said I don't buy it's a training issue.
No, you see, you're coming from the side of the victim. What I think he's saying is, what was the need for him to draw his gun? Period. De-escalate. He had no reason to draw his gun.
But nothing was escalated. That's the point that I'm making.
No, he did escalate by drawing his gun.
Right, but when I'm thinking in terms of if something is escalated, it's
between two people.
Yeah, between two people.
That ain't what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
That's not an escalation issue.
No, in training, that's what it's called. As a cop, if I pull my gun, I'm escalating the level of my interaction.
Okay, but this is my thing. Because, if you pull your gun, Police officers pulling their guns out unnecessarily is nothing new. This has been going on since forever. So if this was an issue of training, how come by now they haven't gotten the memo?
Because nobody has said anything up until it hasn't been an issue.
Are you serious?
We were allowed to kill you. Nobody said anything.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious.
I just gave you an example of the Black Panther, why they was up and running because they wanted to protect themselves.
And after they eradicated them, nobody said anything. There's
guys aren't making any sense.
No, we are now identifying there's a problem in the training. Okay, we're not going to agree on that.
We're not. And Huey says he wanted to save the Union. Yes, that's what Abraham Lincoln wanted to do. And Simba, what's happening, says, thanks, God. And our son says, okay, guys, there are many reasons why, many reasons we can come up with. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that there are generally no consequences for killing us. And I am also thinking out loud. He said, I'm also thinking out loud, wondering if this rule stops at cops. Wasn't George Zimmerman only self-proclaimed neighborhood watch? Yes, it's true, or something. I mean, can you believe that? Can you believe that those cops who were black killers still have their supporters? It's sad, a sad situation. If we don't stop forgiving and thinking God will save us, we are screwed. No, absolutely. I mean, forgiveness for what? Forgiveness for what? Yeah, like I said, George Zimmerman, he was a neighborhood watch, and he got off on standing your ground, and he escalated.
He did.
The situation.
He did.
I mean, Trayvon had no idea what this dude was even doing as far as he was concerned. It was a rapist or a child predator that was after him.
To me, as a military person, I've looked at how these police are acting, and they are acting in a military-type training situation, which they should not be. They are a paramilitary organization to serve the community. So they should not be escalating in encounters with the citizenry.
I mean, I get that they should not be doing it, but if you're telling me, you guys are telling me there's an issue of training.
There is.
I mean, how long is this issue going to go on? If I worked at Taco Bell and I got trained to put 3 scoops of cheese in the tacos and I kept putting 4, eventually I'm going to lose my job.
Right.
So how is it that a cop with a gun, and, you know, we keep saying it's an issue of training and they keep having these issues. How many more black people need to die before we stop blaming it on something like training and instead realize that's just who they are?
Maybe another million, but what I'm saying is this as well. Tamir Rice was shot within, 8 seconds of the police?
Yeah, 6 seconds.
Why did the police officer, you see what I'm saying? The guy that got shot in the car when he was reaching for his...
So let me ask you this. How many white boys have you heard of the police running up on and within 6 seconds, less than 6 seconds, murdering him right on the spot? How many white boys have you heard that happen to?
I think there's like 8 of them, and there were parking tickets. But if they do a mass shooting, we take them to Taco Bell.
I'm telling you, off the top of your head,
8.
How many?
8.
8? Really? 8. That top of your head that they just rolled off on and just shot him up?
8.
Name one.
His name is, I think his name was Mark Bazario or something like that up in Sacramento. No, true story.
So anyway, the point that I was making
is that
if it's a training issue, how come they're not killing everybody the way they're killing black people?
Because these people are afraid of black people. That's what it is. They don't just come in there and say, I'm gonna go in there and just, hey, let me go in there and murder black people.
Bardina says, building strength in our neighborhoods to the point we'll have strong community pull. Absolutely. And you also say, what do you feel is the solution? Well, again, my solution is always going to be the same. We need to start saving each other first in our households. If I haven't had the conversation with my daughter and those around me about group economics, self-love, knowledge of self, and all those things, I can't talk to everybody else. Oftentimes, as I say, we try to save the world, but we don't save each other. Now, what can somebody do as far as being in their own home and being murdered by the police? There's nothing they can do. But what we can do as a community is stop. First, I think it's going to start with the money. We need to start saving our money and spending our money with ourselves so we can have buying power. You guys remember the case in New York where the Asian cop shot the black man in a dark hallway with no lights, and he just started firing in the hallway and murdered this man. They found him guilty, but he got off because the Asian community came together and put money into politics and the police department, and the police, I think it was the commissioner or Sydney, you help me out with whoever it was, the commissioner or the prosecutor, he was black. And he said, in fact, we're not even going to recommend that he go to jail, even though he was found guilty of murdering this man.
Right, remember that Korean grocery store lady that shot that girl back?
Latasha Harlins.
Yeah, she didn't go to jail.
She didn't go to jail. Her people rallied together. The Korean lady who shot Latasha Harlins back in the day, shot in her back over some orange juice. They rallied around her, and she's a free woman. So,
didn't serve one day.
So that to me would be one of the solutions, a couple of solutions, Berdina. And here he says, every 28 hours, an unarmed black man is killed by the police. So y'all still gonna tell me that's training?
Yes. Yes.
And so, Jamal says, delete the comment before she sees it, Al. Okay, I didn't see it. Darren says fear, and Charlie says the Big Six includes labor organizer Philip Randolph, yes, Dr. Martin Luther King, James Farmer.
James Farmer, he was the urban league leader. Yeah.
John Lewis, I knew that was one of them.
John Lewis, I'm still hanging around.
And the National Urban League's Whitney Young Jr.
Yes,
so you
Whitney
guys
Young, yes.
look that up. They were giving money to keep those were the black leaders back then. Now, John Lewis, as we all know, he was in Selma, and, he's fighting for civil rights, but he's also taking money, to keep everybody docile. So if that don't make you think, I don't know what does. And as you can see, some of the things that he put up, some of those guys were in churches, leader of churches, and, other organizations. So do the math. And Al says, speaking of cops, question to you both. Who was your favorite TV cop? Me, Kojak.
Adam 12. No, I didn't like Adam 12. I liked, I like Quincy. I know he was a
I'm about to say
examiner.
medical MD,
Yeah, he was medical MD, but... No, T.J. Hooker. That was my favorite. Anything with William Shatner. That was always my favorite.
I didn't have one. And you guys, again, if you're watching the watch parties, come on over to my page and comment so I can actually see the comments. And Marcus says, I personally believe it is ignorant for anyone to pray for anything that we're currently going through because those prayers were answered hundreds of years ago. We have just failed to use, we have just failed to use the tools that God put in place for us. It must never go unnoticed that we are currently the most powerful race of ourselves that have ever been. Yeah, we look like we're struggling in the 30s and the 40s instead of the year 2019 and beyond. Yeah, I agree with you on that. We are the strongest people ever to walk planet Earth. It is a miracle that we've survived all the things that we've gone through. And so, nothing's impossible. I will say that. And let's see, Jonelle, what's happening? Al says, my favorite song, 80s song, Demetra K goes, The Cat Clock Eyes. It's talking about my eyes look like that cat.
Yeah.
The cat. Arthur says, about your clash with Donovan. You mean my ass whooping with Donovan.
I'll eat her lunch.
And he says, about the cops training in fear, I will tell you what I tell many. Two people, this is this Negro again, trying
at the same time.
Yeah, coming on here trying to call me and stuff. Sorry.
Can be right at the same time.
Two people can be right at the same time as long as their reasoning makes sense. I think cops are not scared of us. But even if that were true, after all these years, their training would have somehow been adjusted.
It did. They stopped chokeholding people.
No, they haven't, actually. So basically, if not the cops as individuals, then the system doesn't care about us. One or the other, maybe both.
Right.
I just feel like, how many times we're going to adjust the training? To you guys, to your point about the chokehold, that's why Eric Garner's case was...
but he wasn't supposed to use that hold.
It's illegal.
I know.
And they're still using it. I saw, I can't remember, it was a video I saw not too long ago, a cop is trying to do a chokehold on somebody.
Yeah.
So, I mean... You guys keep talking about training. Is it really an issue of training?
Well, no, it is an issue of training, and I'll tell you why.
How do you train somebody to stop using something illegal?
Here's the thing. It's like the thin blue line. The thin blue line. You got these so-called good cops there. There's no such thing as a good cop until that good cop starts turning in these bad cops.
I agree.
And that's what it comes down to. There's a problem in the training.
Yes. And Charlie, you reposted the Big Six. Guys, please look it up. And Marcus says, honestly, do we really have problems that we can solve with people that's going with the people, I think you're trying to say, that's going to continue to hate and seek to destroy us? Are we really I think you meant to say, are we really having problems that we must leave behind, or we're really having problems that we must leave behind? I'm trying to read that. Sorry about that. And start to go where we are the majority and build amongst ourselves with our own. We don't consider the resources of Africa as our own. Windows, the same resources, are supporting 75% of the world outside of Africa. And you know what? We better hurry up and get over there because everybody else is going over there taking over.
The thing. Exactly. Like I said, okay, we got $1.3 trillion here. How far can $1.3 trillion go in Africa, Demetra?
Far.
Very far.
It could go really far. And a lot of people are going back to Africa. Like, you know what?
Ghana, they're going to
we out of here.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're making, let's say $30,000, do you know how far $30,000 goes in Africa?
You live like
depending on where you're at.
You live like a king.
Yeah, you can do really well.
A queen.
Right.
And Al says escalate means increase rapidly. So to that point, I mean,
pulling your gun is escalating.
I know.
In a training scenario. For, for any of these officers to go for their guns immediately on the scene.
Even if you're not going to convince me that's a training issue.
If everybody's doing it.
How many times do I got to tell? But I don't think it's an issue of training. I think it's an issue of them being allowed to do those things.
If every cop arrives on a scene and starts pulling their gun, it is a training issue. They're trained to do that.
But if you're not supposed to do that, then is it an issue of training, or are you just being hard-headed and you have your bloodthirsty?
It's just like marching.
Jonelle says,
right, left,
okay,
right.
so this is what Jonelle says. It's an issue of them liking liking black skin. They could have knocked on the door that was open. They could have called for anybody in the house instead of sneaking around the house and shooting her through the window. Let's see, shooting her through the window as they're giving commands. It's a black skin issue. Why isn't black cops having these issues? We need a state of separation, or those biased whites with badges and others without will continue their way of nigger hunting, aka policing. And that's what I'm saying. To Jonelle's point, why aren't the black cops having those issues overall?
They are. They just convicted a Negro in Illinois and gave the woman $21 million.
Not to the point that white cops are doing it. Just the same scenario of why aren't white boys and white men being murdered the way black men and now black women are being murdered by police? How come there is not an issue everywhere? Why is it just, between certain people?
Okay. It's obvious you've taken the small yellow bus on the way to school.
Hey, Jay.
No, real quick. What is the demographic of most police departments in the United States?
As far as race?
Race.
I would venture to say white.
Almost 88% of it is white. There's your issue. Right there. Right there.
So then it's not an issue of training.
It is an issue of training because I can take somebody I can take an all-white platoon and train them to do a certain thing. So if the police department,
time I say this,
so if the police department has all these recruits there, a majority of them are white, whatever the deal is, okay, so it's obvious that there's a plan. That why is this unit all mostly white, but yet they're going to be patrolling a multiracial neighborhood? That makes no sense in itself. But again, you should not escalate and 6 seconds on the scene, and then you're putting bullets in a 6-year-old kid or 8-year-old kid. That makes no sense.
But they're not doing that to white people though. But anyway, Shay says simple. Y'all says they are not afraid. It is intentional. I agree. That's what it is. That's not training. They're just not afraid.
I'm not saying it's not intentional, but what I'm saying is there's something wrong in the training manual. I'm not saying that it's not intentional. I could be a supremacist, go through it like in the military, and I've seen guys do some horrific stuff when I was overseas. That was not how we were trained.
Right. And so Archer says, I think Donovan has some stats ready. And then Shay says, yes, that is true. Yes, I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore, but I will read them anyway. And Charlie says, replying to Al, de-escalate. Archer says, I always love Columbo. And Marcus says, yes, you can kill the Dr. King bullshit. And until there's any facts to substantiate those comments, please, please, please bury the bullshit. Show me the video. Show me the documents. Show me something But don't give me bullshit that you heard over time. Okay, Marcus, I know how you feel about Martin Luther King, and a lot of people
Martin Luther
feel
the
the
King.
same. Martin
The
Luther
King.
King. But listen, brother, that whole Big Six thing is researchable. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, they were all paid.
It's like it's a fact with Martin Luther King and Margaret Sanger. She was one of the originators of the eugenics program, Planned Parenthood. She said 30 years before he was even on the scene, we need to find a black pastor that's influential in the black community to get him to sell our talking points of eugenics. 30 years later, she gave him an award, and he said via Coretta Scott King that he will always consider this his most prized possession. So you tell me if that's bullshit about Martin Luther King. Listen, I'm not saying he didn't do some great things. It is a fact that toward the end of his life, he knew he made very big mistakes in the way he was steering black people.
And look where we're at.
Look where we're at, but he did some things to harm us as well. It's just a fact. That's not like I don't have a reason to hate Martin Luther King. I think he did some great things. But as far as saying that he was above board, he was a deity, he was not. He just wasn't. So I'm sorry that you are offended by the facts about Martin Luther King, but that's just the truth.
Yeah, I remember in South Africa when I was telling the girls how we were at the beer brewery, and I was telling them how you don't see like too many statues of Martin Luther King anymore and stuff like here in the United States because you know we don't edify. You know, he wasn't the only one in the struggle and stuff like that. And they were like appalled, like, "Oh, you're never going to get rid of Nelson Mandela." But Nelson Mandela
everywhere.
also is the same thing as what Martin Luther King did. There was a deal done somewhere down the line that said, we will let you out of prison.
Something happened.
Yeah, something went down.
And Chris, what's happening? Let's see. I'll make sure I make a comment. Chris, she says the KK cops are the problem and not the training. I agree.
But that's in everything, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, let me finish these comments because we're way behind. And Berdina says Kojak, and Al says Donovan is right because the military police, I think he meant, is very meticulous on their training. Yeah. Alicia's mom is a sheriff deputy for 17 years, and she said the police station training is short and weak and needs definite improvement. Okay, so to that point, every training that you go through is going to improve, or at some point needs improvement, but how much training do you need to have to not shoot into somebody's house and kill them and they don't know why you're there or even that you're there? Like, how much training does it take? How much training does it take for you to know that a chokehold is illegal and you keep doing it? Is it an issue of training, or is it allowed and you keep getting away with it?
No, I don't think it's that. Okay, it's an issue of training. It is an issue of training, and I'm going to say this. When you train a paramilitary force to be military, look military, and use military equipment, that is a training issue in itself.
Right.
Then, while you're in the organization and they say, no matter what you do, we're going to protect you, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that to you, it gives you a license to kill.
Right. And Shay says, y'all all lost the plot. That's why they kill us 100%. Can you expound upon that? I know we're behind a little bit, so I'm going to catch up here. And Al says, Alicia's mom has a friend who is a police boot camp trainer, and her friend said the requirements are low, and the powers above have said each class must have a certain percentage of graduates. Right. Okay. But do you still have ongoing training?
Or think about.
Let me just finish these. Let me just finish these. Okay. And so, and John says 5 reasons to. Okay. Yah says, if it's intentional, then training isn't going to change it. They want to do it.
Right.
Let me get these comments real quick.
When you go behind the training, there's psychological things. They can weed these racists out just based on the psychology background.
They can, but they don't.
Exactly.
Okay. So Charlie says, it is not the training, it's the skin color. See, it's a black person, it's shoot and kill. Donald, your brother, says military training through repetition breeds true professional soldiers and Marines, such as rules of engagement. Okay. Archer says, Donovan, we escalate, quote unquote, an issue when a situation compels us to. Escalating under any other circumstances is practically plotting to kill, if you ask me. And Marcus says, well, next week, let's have the Martin Luther King episode and show the proof, the video, and the documents. Let's do research and verify what you're claiming about the doctor, because I ain't I ain't buying it. And the funny thing is, the people that probably wrote all the same people in the situations we wouldn't even trust. Well, Marcus, the information is there. Because even if I brought it to you, would you believe it? Unless you saw it for yourself. It's there. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't have a dog in a fight. I'm not getting paid to say anything unfavorable about Martin Luther King. I mean, it's just it's a fact. So, Jonelle says the issue is to state to state. The high-ranking officer trained in Israel. You have mainly biased whites policing black communities to mainly kill black youth. The state is the stats is evident. Listen to listen to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan warning us via justifiable homicide. Yes, it's not coincidence. It's murdering and culling of us via biased white officers, state to state. We need to either patrol and police our own, defend ourselves, and separate. Absolutely. And that's what a lot of people say the issue is. We need to police our own. And, hey, Gina, what's happening? And Jonelle says, look up police being trained in foreign country, mainly Israel. That's what Donovan's point is. Okay, and then Huey, you say it's a fact. All right, so I got to all of the comments. Okay, so do you want to expound upon this bullcock of training you were saying?
I mean, it's just what he said. You got to look it up for yourself and kind of see. It's and I don't know if you went through the thing, but there's a psychological background that they go through. Like you said, they know what they're doing. I can't. If this racist guy gets through, he's going to shoot and kill no matter what. 88% of your police departments are white. So obviously they have an agenda from the slave era. Obviously that's it. But the thing is, there is a problem in the training.
Listen, I'm not saying there's not a. I'm sure there's a problem.
Why they won't fix it, I don't.
I'm sure there's problems in the training, but I am not going to bet the farm that it's the training. That's alone. Why they're killing black people wholesale.
That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that there's a problem with integrity within, which is part of the training, the integrity within these police departments, and the justice within these police departments. Like I said, there is no such thing as a good cop if they know that they're planting drugs and sprinkling drugs on suspects and dead suspects, and these good cops will not cross the line. Just like the Trump administration right now, where you've got long-time government officials, State Department officials that know what's going on, and now when the floodgates about to come, now they want to come out and say something. Where were you in the very beginning? Where's your integrity in the very beginning? That's the problem.
Right.
When you don't have integrity.
And Marcus says, I'm just saying show it if it's there. Well, I can't show it to you right now, but well, how about you, just like Charles did, Charlie, he Googled it, and he found it. There's a plethora of information there. I mean, it's not a secret. It's only a secret because, you know why it's a secret, Marcus? Because the white man ain't told us about it.
No, it's a secret because it's in a book.
Well, because black people say it. It's like, oh, no, you niggas is lying. But if white people put it out there, then it's got to be true, right? I mean, why do we have a hard time believing that Martin Luther King took a little cash on the side?
Did. How did his family become so enriched?
I mean, why is that hard to believe?
How did he support himself all those years? You know, going from Selma to this place to that place.
It was a total of $1.3, I think, $6 million between all of them. They got a payout to go keep black people docile. It's a fact.
Every campaign, you got to have financing. We can't go to war unless somebody's going to finance it. Right now, they move troops to Saudi Arabia. What did Trump just say? Oh, Saudi Arabia's going to pay for it. Everything costs money.
Right. Jonelle says, look at who cut their check. It's not the public, it's the banks.
Right.
And then Chris, she said, we need our own. Al, absolutely, always. And then Marcus says, so it would be safe to say that the most well-organized group of black people, such as the Nation of Islam, must be on a higher payroll because to be that well-organized and that ineffective across the United States and global now speaks volumes. Well, no, I mean, no shade, Marcus, I love you to death, but that comment don't even make sense, and I get where you're going with that. You feel like because your beloved Martin Luther King was not perfect, now you want to attack the Nation of Islam, but what you're saying is categorically false. We know that the Nation of Islam has been effective. Now, just because some Negroes choose not to listen to the Nation of Islam does not mean that the people within the Nation of Islam has not been served. People of the Nation of Islam got schools, jobs, businesses, a whole host of programs and things. They are self-sufficient.
Copyrights.
They got their own newspaper that's been around forever. Okay, name me some black newspapers that's been around as long as the Nation of Islam. Muhammad Speaks, The Final Call. Name me a newspaper that does that. A black newspaper that's done that.
There are none.
Name me a black newspaper or publication that has not sold out to white supremacy like Jet, Ebony, and all of the other magazines. So when you give a backhanded comment like that, I can back up what I say. I'm not one of those people that's gonna say something and then just be like, oh well, because I said it. No, I'm gonna be able to back up what I said. And so again, I just want to put out there that your statement about the Nation of Islam is false. But you know what? I'll let Jonelle get you. I love you though. And Al says, Mike Greenberg, ESPN, caught some heat a few years back when he said Martin Luther King. In a way, he was right, yes or no? Well, I don't want to take it that far.
Yeah, well, he was wrong in the aspect that he shouldn't be the one that said it, and to spread that on a national
he's
platform.
Not the first time that a news anchor has been on film saying that. So that's just what they call Martin Luther King. I don't call him that. I wouldn't say he was a coon. I think Martin Luther King. I won't say that.
He did what he thought was best at the time.
Yeah, he admitted that he made a mistake by leading black people to turning the other cheek and being
Stokely
docile.
Carmichael, all the younger cats started calling him out, and he was like, this is not the way to go. We've been doing this for 15 years, and we haven't progressed. Right.
You know what happened to him when he went to Washington talking about he was going to ask for a reparations check? What happened to him? Right. So, and then Al, you also say, so tell me everything is racial to black people. And I don't think everything is racial to black people, but I think it's a lie to say, oh, well, everything is fine. I mean, I know probably 80% of my day, I'm being looked at in a racist manner by somebody, no matter what it is. And so I want to say everything is racial, but when you're black in America, your race comes first when it comes to everybody else. They see race first. Right? So we just need to understand that and deal with that. And Marcus just says, I wouldn't give a damn who put it out there. And what wealth does his family control? His wife lived a modest life years after his passing. I hate to get off the point of the police killing us, but we need to put the rest there, tearing down the past when we're not doing shit about the present. See, listen, this is the other thing, too. We as black, see y'all who thump the Bible, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but you guys who continuously talk about God and the Bible, y'all don't read it. It says, my people were destroyed for their lack of knowledge and their rejection of truth. So when the knowledge is out there, we don't want nothing to do with it. Because we reject it and then we cry and whine about the state of our, the state that we're in. So is it the truth or is it tearing down? Or is it tearing down or is it the truth? I mean, you tell me, just because somebody's speaking the truth doesn't necessarily mean that we're tearing it down. How else are we supposed to progress if we can't become one with the truth? It's just a fact, Marcus. Nobody's tearing Martin Luther King down. It's just a fact. So you also say, go ahead.
The girl that got killed, her family would want her to be forgiven, the officers to be forgiven, and all that other stuff.
I sure hope not. Marcus says, but outside of what they do for themselves personally, how effective have they been in changing the global direction of black people across the U.S. and the world? Well, I know for a fact, my father being one of them who turned down a 4-year scholarship to Pepperdine University, full ride. Instead of going to Pepperdine, he joined the Nation of Islam, and he said it's because of the Nation of Islam that he is a better person. He said that they taught him about himself, something that a white university was not going to do. They weren't going to teach him knowledge of self. And my dad,
HBCU,
right? And my dad also worked for Ferrari back in the day and quit when the white man wanted to cheat him out of his check, and he ain't worked for another man since. And my dad is 75 years old.
Still working on cars.
So I can tell you personally what I know that they've done. That's just my testimony. And let's see here. Al says, is the Chicago Defender a black-owned newspaper?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to look that up.
I'm not for sure.
Because I know the Tribune got bought out. And I'll look it up.
And Jonelle, you said, we understand what you're saying, Queen. They select the biased, ill-minded white officers who desire to be the pawns of the Zionists like Amber Geiger and the officers shooting black people. Absolutely. Those are the type of people who get past the psychological exams and, oh, it's okay, you didn't do so well on the training. Those are the people they want. They want the people to go in there and be judgmental and escalated, if you will, in the black community. They go in the black community and they pump fear into black people just by their presence alone. Why is it that black people in America, especially black men, fear going out and coming home coming back home? You probably don't, but I know there's a lot of black men who do, who fear is today going to be the day. And fear that if a white police officer especially pulls them over, am I going to make it out of this situation alive? Damn, going to jail, because before it was like, well, damn, I don't go to jail. But now it's like, I hope I don't die, right? And so Marcus says, and I would even say this, currently the most powerful black person in our existence is still Barack Obama. Okay, let me finish reading the rest of your comment. Why don't we give his black ass the heat for not stepping up and standing up as the president after his presidency? Well, I don't know necessarily where you've been, but we always give Barack Obama heat. And
I know I do.
Okay, I'll ask you this. Who is Barack Obama influential to?
More white millionaires doubled under the Obama administration.
Right, and to be influential, doesn't he in some way have to influence us to do something, to say, like, what has he influenced us to do other than to vote for him 2 times, and we've come up empty-handed both times? And so when you say that people don't take Barack Obama to task, that's a lie. We take Barack Obama to task all the time. All the time. But Barack Obama, he's influential. He's
done. He got his.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Barack Obama, I don't know necessarily what he's doing now, but we don't hear.
He's chilling.
We don't hear him, speaking up for the things that go on in the black community. Hell, you would think he would. He was the first black president, right? So, again, I don't know where you've been, Marcus, but we do that. We do take President Barack Obama to task. I mean, I know he's gotten some Netflix stuff, him and Michelle Obama. Somebody said to me the other day that they want Michelle Obama to run for the presidency of the United States. And I asked them why. And they really couldn't say why. And I said, you mean the Michelle Obama who has been silent when it comes to black issues? After she's left the White House, you mean that Michelle Obama, the Michelle Obama that has denounced Minister Louis Farrakhan and Jeremiah Wright, the man who married them, and they sat up under his church for 20 years. You mean that Michelle Obama? Why would she be a good president, especially for black people?
Right. And then now that this second shooting has taken place, how many of the Hispanic Congressional Caucus have come out and spoke at what an outrage and a tragedy that has just taken place? How many of the Jewish community come out and said, oh my gosh, we've got to go to our brothers and sisters over there and support them?
Well, why would they? Because they know forgiveness is coming right away.
Here we go.
They're going to forgive us right away. Just wait for it.
Like I said, and then when people get on us, or me especially, because I'm not concerned about kids in cages on the border, I'm not concerned about a wall being made, this is why. I get it. I have to take care of my own. You take care of your own.
Right. Jonelle says, we're not talking, we're doing the works. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
We're not talking. We're doing the works of the nation is clearly evident. Our schools, farms, businesses, being, etc. It is as it always been for the service of our people. Clearly, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, all we have to do is put up a clean glass next to a dirty glass. How can you say the nation has had no effect on black people when it's black people in the nation, inside and out, supporting the nation? Marcus, he talking to you.
But hey, it is really good that we have these discussions. This is stuff we got to talk about because without communication, there is no understanding.
Right. I mean, I know a whole host of people have been helped by the Nation of Islam. I mean, so to hear that, Nation of Islam has just been up there for all these years and, it's been doing nothing, that's a farce.
Well, since we're talking about the Nation of Islam real quick, I've got a quick story to say. Because of the Nation of Islam, guess what I did today?
What did you do?
I defended a sister that was in distress.
Tell us about your story.
Yes. There was a lady. I walk into the AM/PM, which I'm going to get some gas, and there's a big line, and and the sister's just going off. Blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking, oh, Lord, here we go. Another sister, loudmouth sister just going off for no reason. So I'm sitting in the line, blah, 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 and a Hispanic lady comes in and tries to cut the line, and like, I got to get my gas, I got to go. We're all in a rush to to go. So the black girl tells him, wait a minute, you got to deal with me first. You don't cut me off. And remember I've been saying that, how they make it seem like we don't exist. They just step right over us and stuff like that. We got to stand up and let them know we exist. We're here. We're people. We're human beings. Get your ass in the line, lady. So the sister is, telling the girl get in the line, and of course it was a Hispanic cashier, and she was like, it's okay with her. She's gonna take care of her people. Group economics. Wow, how funny how that works. And so the lady makes a fuss, like, no, you got to deal with me. So the lady's like upset, and she gets in the line, and then she starts talking shit in Spanish. The sister breaks out full Espanol, y'all. I'm talking about me acuerdo que the whole thing. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's about to jump down right now, And so the Hispanic lady's talking shit, whatever, and I had to tell her, like, she's like looking at us, the people in the line, like, hey, look at this little lady, we're like, no, you're in the wrong, man. This is America. We do things a little bit different here, and an ass whooping isn't worth getting some gas to get your ass whipped because you're in a rush. You know what I mean? We're all in a rush. And so I was like with the sister, I was like, no, you're right, she's wrong, this is how we're going to handle it, blah, 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 blah. And then, so we waited for a quick minute, then the Hispanic chick's man or whatever comes in. Now, again, you guys, I'm sorry if this sounds racist or whatever. I have no reason to be afraid of a Hispanic person because I live near them. So I'm not afraid of a Hispanic person, especially when they're 5'6" and built like a keg. Okay? I was going to handle this guy. Okay? So he kept mean mugging me and stuff, and I kept mean mugging him back. It's like, really? Are we going to do this? But I felt proud of myself because I wasn't going to let this sister be disrespected because, again, I've said this and I say it all the time. We got to protect this black woman if we want respect for ourselves.
That's right.
It's as simple as that.
Big ups.
And that's something that the nation does teach.
Big ups. There you go, Marcus. And Al says, oh, God damn, y'all got big baby.
Started.
That's what he called me. Started. I told y'all a month ago, one of the number one rules of the BTK show is not to ever say anything bad about the minister of the Nation of Islam.
Yes.
Woo. And Marcus says, I'm not saying you and Donovan personally. I'm saying we must preach the conversation as the masses. We must make him uncomfortable in existence among us as a people. Who is him? Who is him uncomfortable, if I'm not mistaken? I don't hear it. And Berdina says, this is a joke. Barack is among the missing. If I drank milk, maybe I would see his, missing thing on the back of a milk carton. But he's missing in action big time.
Like a lot of baby boomers, he got his and he's taking that ladder and said, I'm out. I'm pulling it up. Good luck to y'all.
Right. Did they go low or high?
I think they went high.
They went high. Jonelle says, what does Barack Obama influence us to do but be better tools of white sovereignty? Mm-hmm. Where is the liberated state of mind? All Obama is doing and has done is within the regulation of white sovereignty.
Absolutely.
What is Obama and his Obama-led us to? We need a true, full, and complete freedom. I mean, Donovan says it all the time. More white millionaires were created under the Obama administration. So
while we were losing our homes and our wealth, the white people doubled. The millionaires doubled.
And I'm not saying it was because of Barack Obama, but police brutality amongst black people grew as well.
And racism within the United States.
Right, and we know why the racism grew because, he wanted a black president. Mm-hmm. But those are just some things to think about, you know. And then Marcus says, would it not be fair to say that America's well-organized machine that is currently unstoppable until the world ends? With saying that, why are we not pushing to leave instead of staying? Trying to see the rest of your comment. And continuing to suffer because the haters around us are currently leaving to go where we may go one day to prepare to control our asses once we get there too. No, that's exactly what's going on.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, where you live right now. And everywhere in the United States, there's a housing issue, right? So everybody's leaving the concrete jungle and they're coming out here to get, cheaper homes that they can afford to live in. It's the same thing globally.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't escape it. But the point is, though, like everybody else, we got to be smart. Let's get over there and get that money while, get over there and get that land while we can, while it's cheap. Yeah. Because by the time we get over there, it's going to be gentrified out and we can't afford it.
Yeah, and it's on its way. I mean, we saw it firsthand. Now says Donovan, I defended the sister in the mall, too. Said she was having some difficulties. I think that she was in line or something like that. And there's a white man behind her just kind of watching her. And, Al said he went and he helped her. Like, dude, Like, yeah, he probably didn't think nothing of it. Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, but that was one of the times, and I was impressed with the sister. When she broke out that Espanol, I was like, oh, go get it, girl, get it.
Did you get a number?
Nah, she didn't have no backside. Plenty of this, but not, well, anyway.
Reginald says, why are we keep calling ourselves black? We are African from abroad. Well, yeah, we know.
Well, yeah, black is an adjective, so it's like when we say white man. When you say a white man, you're just saying something incidental about him, but he'll say I'm an Italian white man or I'm a German white man. So when we say we're black, a lot of us don't know where we're from in Africa.
Mexicans call themselves brown.
Right. It's just the adjective.
Yeah. And then Charlie says Louis Farrakhan took Obama to task. He said what did Obama do for you? Nothing. Obama fought for everyone, even gay rights, but Obama did nothing for black America, not even one black appointment to the Supreme Court judges. Yep. Yeah, he appointed a lot of women and
white men and Hispanic women and stuff. He does. Right. I mean, but you got to remember, Obama was put there for a certain reason.
Yeah, I mean,
and it wasn't for black people.
Right.
That's for damn sure.
And we know that him and Obama were friends, or friendly, if you will. Lived not too far from each other. They've met several times, and all of a sudden, when he got up there, he was like,
"Got to play the game."
Who?
Yes.
Farrakhan, and then, and Farrakhan said it too. He said, "I had this picture of Obama and I for a long time.
Yeah,
I just chose not to. Yes, I just chose not to release it because he said Obama came to him and said, "Hey, can you keep it on the QT, the quiet tip, And he did. But since he wanted to get up there and acting brand new, he was like, "Bow, here we go."
Like I said, politics makes strange bedfellows. They really do.
And Reginald says we need to be racist because racism benefited other races of people that has oppressed us. And Reginald, that's what I was asking about as far as religion. What are white people that are Christians that are reading the Bible doing differently than we are doing?
I am for group economics, which is a form of racism. I want to do what they're doing, all these other groups. I want to pool my money with my own people.
Yeah, crazy. You talking about warning, Donovan has added a feature to the Demetra K show that if anyone talks bad about the minister in the nation, there's a bitch. You're going to get deleted button starting next week. Now we'll never do that. Everybody's allowed to speak their mind here.
Yes.
And then Marcus says, well, I will say, we can agree to disagree, which is probably best considering that we can't do nothing about the past. We can only do something about the present. Absolutely. Well, Marcus, and the reason I was bringing him up along with the big six, or the rest of the big six, is that a lot of times, because somebody else brought up about how they get money, and that's how I ended up bringing it up. They get money, and a lot of times the check is bigger than the mission. These Negroes ain't gonna listen. No, I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but I like to play devil's advocate a lot.
Yeah, we know.
So if JFK and them was offering me a portion of $1.3 million back in the 60s, which is a lot of money, I would probably say to myself, you know what? These Negroes ain't really wanted some water. Well, white people.
Well, here's the thing. Modern day, right now, John Lewis, been in Congress a very long time. What's his legislative accomplishments? This guy was a civil rights leader. He has put out legislation for the people in the cages. He's put out legislation for the LGBTQs. He's put out legislation to make statues of his civil rights friends. But in the neighborhood of Georgia where he comes from, And that district looks like shit.
Just like the other cat that got called out by Trump.
Elijah Cummings.
Elijah Cummings. And Marcus says, all you have said is my point to Obama. We must start preaching that his current attitude is bullshit. Yeah, it is. No, we do. We absolutely do, Marcus. Oh, we totally agree with you.
I am not an Obama supporter. I'm not going to bash him, but I'm not a supporter.
Right. We're going to tell the truth.
Yeah,
it ain't
truth.
tearing down. It's the truth.
Right.
Jonelle says, Muhammad Ali changed his name and so many others due to the nation. So did many others due to the nation. You know Malcolm X, Farrakhan, the Panthers, and the majority of so-called people and organizations because of their the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
We gotta get the book out there.
Yeah. Let's see. Elijah Muhammad.
You got
the 5%ers, various artists due to the nation, Million Man March, Black Power, etc. due to the nation. You don't know the influence and example of the nation. Throwing stones at it. The Zionist is not against the nation if its influence and truth wasn't so potent and potential universal to change the dynamics of white supremacy and white sovereignty. They clearly don't fear, reverends and etc. like they fear the truth of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan speaks. A man that called 2 million black men and shut the government down on a Monday. Clearly the influence of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan and the nation is beyond scope. All praise is due to Allah. Absolutely. I mean, it's just, it's not even up for debate.
Yeah, another good fact to me, I changed my given name and I got me a name that identifies me with God. That's because I've read a lot about the nation and Islam.
Al, you got issues. Issues. I'll let you read that one.
Okay, it says, whenever I see a sister with no black side, I look at backside, I'm sorry, and I look at them, those old ass records in Donovan's house. Damn, they still make you laugh. Yes. Very much so. Very much so.
Charlie says, Louis Farrakhan is the man. He is on fire. He got your back. Yes. For his whole, his whole entire life.
And a lot of stuff that people, like I said, one thing about the nation, they move in silence. A lot of stuff that they're doing, you wouldn't even know that they are doing. A lot of donations in certain charities, they do it under a pseudonym name because they don't want to be associated with it.
And I hope I say this right. A Tassi, peace, love, and light, family. Same to you. And Reginald says, Barack Obama came from a family with money.
Yes.
Barack Hussein Obama Sr. was a Kenyan senior government economist. Yes, he was. That was his father. And
Obama spent a lot of time with his grandmother. And that's why I tell people, he's a black president, but he's not the black president. You know what I mean? Because his experience as a black man is not the same as another black man of the same vibe. Because if he needed $50, his white mother could give it to him, or his white grandmother could give it to him.
Because wasn't it said that his grandparents left him
significant amount of money. Yeah, significant amount of money. That's like something like $400,000, $500,000.
Yeah, so you're right. Not to discount his blackness, because I don't want to do that.
No,
you're not
black.
doing that either. Yeah. But to your point, he didn't have what people would say is the typical black experience.
Right.
The black man in America. And then you say,
where are you?
Akasi said, where are you? We are in Southern California.
Yes. Where
it is is it hot today, or is it just me?
Just you.
Just me.
Sit next to me.
Because you full of hot air. So anyway, you guys on the podcast, we are about to get out of here. We thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday. We will be back next Sunday, as always. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let us know.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. This week, you guys heard about that bullying situation. We're going to go talk about that on Free Flow Fridays.
We need to learn how to say that. Free Flow Friday. We want to talk about bullying. I don't know if it's an epidemic, if it's ever gone anywhere.
Yeah, if you guys are on YouTube, there was a video, and this kid's just getting racked.
God.
He's getting racked, and we have to stop telling these kids not to defend themselves. That is unnatural not to do that.
And let's see. Fountain
Valley.
You're in Fountain Valley, and Charlie says Belgium, Europe. Wow.
Ooh, wow.
You're all the way across the pond. And Marcus says, honestly, right now, I believe that Jay-Z is currently the most influential black person on the planet. And before you snap...
He
says, before you snap about the NFL thing, like many said, it's history. His history speaks for itself. So let's see where he's going to go before we decide where he's going to end up.
Okay.
No.
So he's basically saying, let's give him a chance.
Marcus, are you a part of that let's wait and see crowd too? Let's wait and see what Jay-Z's going to do. So far, he's shown us that he's got a clothing line that's coming out of the NFL. He's put Shakira and J-Lo on the lineup and Pitbull, I guess now.
Wait, all Hispanic?
Right.
Where are the black artists?
He donate some money to a center that was cutting off black boys' dreadlocks? I mean, what else do you need to wait and see?
Yes.
What are you waiting to see that Jay-Z is going to do? And tell me, let me ask you this. What makes Jay-Z influential in the black community? Because I'm not saying he's not, but I'm asking you.
He has good albums.
What makes him influential?
He used to be a drug dealer.
I'm hoping that's not what it is, but let's see what Marcus says. And then Atasi, I hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. You say any contacts here?
Nation.
Nation. You say you're from, where do you say he's from?
He's from
Fountain Valley.
Fort Valley or something.
Is it Fountain Valley or Fort Valley? And where is that? Because we got a Fountain Valley out here in California. And Bernina says peace and love to you both.
Yes.
And same to you. And Al says Mattel has a Barbie doll as judges. Has a Barbie doll as judges little girls everywhere. I can be encouraged to learn about the judicial system. As a bonus, the black judges come with a special forgiveness grip. Oh my God! You know what?
I love it. I love it.
The judge forgiveness grip for hugging white cop Barbie.
Fort Valley. Okay.
Oh, okay. White cop Barbie. Oops. And walked into the wrong Malibu house and killed a black. You know what? Lord have mercy.
I love it.
And Charlie says Jay-Z has his own money in a black bank. Okay. And then you say,
not that many black banks.
Georgia.
Yeah,
okay.
Not that many black banks left. There are a few, but they're dying out too.
I guess I'm just waiting to see where Marcus is saying, giving us his talking points of why Jay-Z is influential. Not saying he's not. I just want to see what you say.
Rick James is influential.
Yeah, Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say for me, Jay-Z has not been influential. I think he's done some, and I don't want to take away from things that Jay-Z has done. He's done some great things. But this whole little NFL thing,
that was a pretty bad business.
Yeah, he just
how he went about it was very bad.
What are you doing, dude? You know?
It's very bad.
I mean, like, what do you have to say? You say you passed kneeling, but what do you have to say when a woman, 28-year-old woman, gets gunned down in her own home as she's playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew? What do you have to say about that? And so Marcus says the one thing we can say for sure is that Jay-Z has effectively changed the way athletes and artists get paid, and you cannot deny his influence on the hip hop. Well, I don't know. See, cannot deny his influence on the hip hop community itself as to how they are doing business as artists and even the radio hosts, such as members of the Breakfast Club.
Huh?
How does that help the collective?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused on that because contracts are still being signed shady in the music business, so he hasn't done anything about that. As far as athletes...
And last time I heard, Kanye was suing him.
Yeah, as far as athletes and their contracts, that's done by the collective bargaining agreement between the owners, and I've never seen Jay-Z in a...
Yeah, and in fact, the NFL has said that Jay-Z doesn't have anything to do with the players at all.
Yeah, so I don't... I'm not, you know...
I mean, they're good talking points, but I guess I'm trying to figure out how does what he do, how does those things that you said that Jay-Z is doing help the collective? Right. That sounds like he's helping the people who are on the same level with him, but how does that help everybody?
Overall, yeah. I mean, to me, why can't Jay-Z partner with somebody and start his own football league?
Right, and if you ask me, hip-hop nowadays is garbage. But that's just my opinion. And Charlie says, does Jay-Z have his money in a black bank? You know, that I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Good question.
And Arson says, Jay-Z. Anyway, I think a few weeks ago, I have asked you guys about Jay-Z, and I seem to remember you two telling me he does a lot of stuff for blacks on the low. No, he does.
He does.
But Better news is I read a news post saying Rihanna turned down performing at the Super Bowl.
She did.
Hope it's true, and she's one of his artists. At least she used to be.
She said the sellout.
She said she said she was not going to sell out. She says, "Why would I do that? That doesn't help my people." Rihanna is a real one. She's a real one. And Reginald says Barack Obama's stepfather, Mr. Sorry somebody from Indonesia, worked for an oil company.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. His mother married a Indonesian man.
I'm sorry, Al. He says, I'm going to stop telling my jokes because you effing it up by reading too fast. I'm sorry. What happens a lot of times is the screen will go up and down, and so that's why I jack it up. So I'm sorry. And Reginald says also Barack Obama, Indonesia. Oh, okay, so it's the same one. So anyway, you guys, it's about that time.
We got to go get our chicken and our piece of chicken and all that other good stuff.
We are out of here. Thank you so much for joining us here. Please come back next Sunday. Well, actually, we'll be back here Friday. We usually try to get on here about, what time are we going to do it this time? Friday.
Before lunch.
Okay, so we'll be here about 12.
What's 12?
12 o'clock.
It's all on her schedule.
12 o'clock Pacific. Not specific, but Pacific time on Friday, and then it's always on Sunday at 3 Pacific time. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please hit me up, and I will cover them. Arson says, replying to Marcus, but how? Al says, thank God Lala and Keisha was fine. I ain't gonna read it because somebody might not have seen Power. I don't watch Power. I won't give it away. And Charles says, thank you.
Watch plenty of horror movies. We were in October.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I know,
Michael Myers.
Yes.
And Jason.
Yes. Thank you, Charlie. And then Reginald says, great show. Thank you. And Arthur says, thank you guys always for the weekly show. Talk to you soon. Yes. All right, then. See y'all later.
Next week. Peace.